In this video, I'm going to cover my own personal settings that I have set up using my iPad Pro. That is the device that I like to play on. I get asked this question all the time in the comments on my TikTok as well as on YouTube comments. What are my settings and why do I use the settings that I use? Now, first and foremost, before I even jump in and show you my settings, I want to let you know that I personally believe that there's no one size fits all. I think it's great to go and look at other YouTubers and other streamers and really great pro players and look at the settings that they have set up and then maybe try them out yourself. But I always think that it's better to use it as a baseline, but then move on from there and customize it and adjust it to you, because I think that everybody's is different based on, how many fingers you use, like if you play with claw, what type of a device you use. I could show you my iPad Pro settings, but I can tell you right now an iPad Air or even a phone will probably want to adjust the settings a little bit depending on what device you're playing on, because it feels different and it helps you play differently. So that said, I just want to let you know, I want to show you these settings and I hope that they can help you in any way possible, because I get asked this a lot to show my settings. But just know if you try them out and they're not right for you, that's totally okay. Try them out though and really stick with them and try them out for a little while. At least go through a edit course or some other type of course a few times so that you can kind of get an idea of how it feels for you as you're going through it, and then maybe adjust it from there. Okay, so I'm going to go into my settings. First and foremost, I'm going to start off with my sensitivity, and then I will go into some of the other settings that I have turned off or turned on that I really want to kind of highlight for you. Okay, so right off the bat, you can see my settings right here. Please feel free to screenshot these and use them yourself. I'm not one of those. I'm not going to share them because there's the secret sauce to why I'm getting better or getting decent at the game. Not at all. I actually found a lot of these settings from other people, and I used them because they were gracious enough to share them with me, and then I just adjusted them, just like I said, to my own settings. So I'm going to go through each of these and explain why I have them the way that I have them. So first off, the touch sensitivity. You notice that that's really low. I used to have this pretty high, like in the 70s, 80s, 90s. %, but I lowered it all the way down to 12% because I had a friend suggest to me that they found that it was actually easier for them to kind of slow down your view a little bit so that you can pay more attention to what you're doing and the details of what you're doing, so that you mess up a whole lot less and you can continue to improve a whole lot more. Now, touch targeting sensitivity, this one's really iffy for me. So for instance, when I was on an iPhone, I actually had this higher than it is now. I think I had it around 50, 60, 70%. And then when I moved over to an iPad Pro, I was able to lower it a whole lot more. I think having your touch targeting sensitivity was one of the hardest ones for me to lower the way that I have it right now. But after working on it for a long time, I was able to get used to it, and it helped me a lot. Touch scope sensitivity, same with that one. That one I really had a hard time with lowering. I didn't want to lower it at all. I wanted to be able to quickly, like if I was scoping in on somebody with a snipe, I wanted to quickly be able to follow their movements or guess where their movement is going to go so that I can, lead the shot a little bit. But I figured out that it was actually messing me up a lot. So I decided to have this one a little bit lower. It's about 50%, it's a little under 50%. I would definitely try this one out and see what works for you and what doesn't, and continue to adjust it as you go. Now, the next one I want to talk about is touch building and edit building. These ones I have basically maxed out. Building sensitivity, I actually had maxed out for a really long time, but I decided to lower it a little bit simply because when I was building, I noticed that sometimes I would move my view a little bit too far, and then I wouldn't be able to do my 90s. So that's why this one's a little bit lower, is because the 90s part of building, I really wanted to make sure I didn't overlook when I'm trying to build those out, and that's why that one's a little bit lower. But really, honestly, I feel like having your touch building and your touch edit all the way maxed out or close to maxed out is really, really helpful. When I'm editing, it's really nice that I can move really quickly so that I can continue to edit a whole lot faster. But the problem is too, I want to note, is that if you put this all the way up with edit and you find that it's really hard to edit because it's moving too quickly, try it out for a little while and stick with it, because I feel like you'll get used to it. It's one of those things that you'll get used to and you gotta stick with it a little bit. Vertical sensitivity multiplier. This one I messed with a lot, and I got a lot of different recommendations from different people telling me what they thought I should be doing. Eventually though, I kind of landed on 119, and I've kind of just kept it there for a while. This one I feel like it's in a good place. I don't know that I'll ever adjust it again, but I definitely was adjusting it back and forth for a really, really long time. Now, a big one that I really, really want to note is one here at the bottom, the look acceleration strength. Now, this is gonna weird people out, especially if you know what this is or if you've ever gone to your settings and adjusted this at all. A lot of people don't even know what it is, but you'll notice that it's all the way down to 1%, and that's as low as it'll go. It won't go to 0. I have it down as low as I possibly can. Now, when I first changed this based off of a friend's recommendation, it weirded me the crap out. Like, it was so weird to me, and it felt weird playing the game with it all the way down the way that it is, but I'm letting you know that it actually helped me a lot. And once I got adjusted to it and really stuck with it, which I had to for a while, it took me a few days, honestly, of playing every single day and really getting used to it to actually be used to it. But again, that's one of those things that I changed and I got used to it, but then I absolutely loved it and I wouldn't change it back. I do want to let you know, if you switch this one, it's another one that is going to feel really, really weird and you're not going to like it, but you'll end up loving it. So, and of course, that it's different for everyone, but in my personal opinion, I ended up really loving it when I stuck with it. My aim assist is on, but oftentimes when I go into practice, I'll actually turn that off while I'm practicing so I can get better with my aim and I can really pinpoint how to work hard on that. Motion options, I don't really play around with these too much, but of course you can look at those if you'd like. A couple of quick settings that I really want to highlight for you here include, one, please notice that I do have 120 FPS. You can only get this with the newer versions of the iPad Pro, or of course if you have a PC. This is not currently available for iPhones, Androids, Samsungs, iPad Airs, the older versions of iPads even. You can't get that with any of those, or even, I think I already mentioned this, but consoles can't have it either. So if you want to get that, you do need to either get a PC or an iPad Pro. I think it's the 2018 edition, and that's where you can actually get that to work for you. If you have an iPad and it's not going up to that, it's probably just that you don't have the newer version of the iPad. You'll notice that my quality presets are on medium. 3D resolution, I want to note this one too. Right now it's on 100%, but sometimes I'll actually lower it. And not by much, I mean just here. If you're having a lot of lag in your game, like if you play on a phone or an iPad Air or like an older version of an iPad, I would actually tell you to lower this a little bit. When I was playing on an iPhone X, I actually had this really low, like all the way down to here. And the reason being is because, and listen, it sucked. I couldn't see really far away. A lot of the games wasn't rendering for me right away. But that said, I was able to play with a lot less lag. So there's a quick tip there to kind of help with your lag. And I'll do a whole video on what you can do to help with your lag. But that's on there. I have my FPS on. And now low power mode I have off. Some people like to have that on, but I feel like it just messes with my game too much if I do that. So, and I know if you watch my videos, I'm so bad at keeping my iPad charged. So you think that I would have that on. I do play on NA West, though I play on NA East a lot of the time because a lot of people I play with play on NA East. So I've kind of just gotten used to both. But generally I like to play on NA West because that's where I get the best ping. Another setting that I have on is the auto sort consumables to right. A lot of people already have that on, but if you don't, I definitely recommend to have that on. It really plays well with my game style. Another setting that I really want to highlight here is in the building section, and it's right here, confirm edit on release, which means that I don't have to click another button just to confirm an edit. It automatically confirms the edit for me when I release or edit the button. Another setting that you may have seen me show off or really point out in another video is my reticle. I actually have this turned off. You'll notice all of these are on except for one, and that would be my reticle. That's simply because I use that little button in the center of my screen on my HUD instead of the reticle, so I have that one turned off. Another setting is the auto pickup button. I actually turned that one off because I like to be able to choose which weapons and consumables and everything that I'm going to be picking up specifically, and also so I don't like accidentally pick up a gun that I really don't want to have, or so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and don't save that because I don't know what I messed up or what I touched there. But anyway, there's all of my settings, and I hope that this was really helpful for you. Please let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. I hope that you're able to take these settings, maybe use them yourself, but then please go ahead and adjust them. Make them your own and really customize them to your gameplay and also to the device you're playing on. Again, I just want to point out that, for instance, if you're on an iPhone, some of these settings are really going to need to be a little bit higher. Like your touch sensitivity when I was on a phone was a little bit higher for me. I think I had it around 20-ish. Touch targeting was a little bit higher, touch scope was a little bit higher, and vertical sensitivity was definitely a little bit higher as well. So there's a couple of quick notes for you. Again, hopefully this was helpful. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I will continue to do more tutorials on how to continue to get better at mobile, especially as I try to get better at mobile on iPad and on iPhone. Played on that for for quite a long time. Other than that, hopefully you have a fantastically beautiful, amazing day. Keep killing it, and I'll speak with you soon.